The poor fellow soldiers of Christ and of the Temple of Solomon, also known as the Order of Solomon's Temple. The Knights Templar, or simply Templars, were a Christian military order recognized in 1139 by a papal bull, Omne Datum Optimum, from the Holy See. The order was founded in 1119 and active from about 1129 to 1312.
Templars were organized as a monastic order. They were thought to be one of the most effective organizations in Europe in that time. Each country, like England and France, had a master of the order for the Templars. There was also the Grand Master, who was above all Templars and other masters of the order. They even chose their own knights to accompany them. In Europe, after the First Crusade recovered Jerusalem in 1099, many pilgrims went to parts of the Holy Land, and in the Holy Routes, they were sometimes attacked by bandits. French Knight Hugh de Payens approached King Baldwin II of Jerusalem and proposed the creation of a monastic order to protect the pilgrims.
Templar Knights wore a distinctive white mantle with a red cross. First, they put on the white robe, then a chain mail suit on their body and head, a metal helmet, and finally a white robe with the infamous red cross. They were among the most skilled fighting units of the Crusades. The Templars were poor and couldn't get married or drink from the grape or grain. This order was very powerful and only the wealthiest men could join. The non-combat members of the order managed the Templars' large economic infrastructure throughout Christendom, developing innovative financial techniques that we still use to this day. These vast funds helped with fortification across the Holy Land. The Templars are thought to have created the first banking systems so that pilgrims didn't have to carry so much money on them.
The liberation of the Holy City of Jerusalem and Palestine can be retraced to the beginning of the Crusades in November 1095, when Pope Urban II gathered the Council of Clermont. 300 members of the clergy met under his leadership. The pacifist doctrine that had dominated Christendom were abandoned, laying the foundations for the conquest. At the close of the council, Urban II announced this state of affairs in his famous speech of Congregation, demanding that Christians stop fighting among themselves. The Pope called on them to unite under the banner and to free the Holy Land from the Muslims. To him, this was a holy war. Following the death of Latin King Baldwin I in 1186, Guy Lucian, who was known to be close to the Templars, came to the throne in Palestine. Reynald de Chatillon, Prince of Antioch, became the new king's closest aide. After fighting in the Second Crusade, Reynald had stayed behind in Palestine, where he became good friends with the Templars. Reynald's cruelty was well known in the Holy Land. On the 4th of July of 1187, the Crusades' army fought the bloodiest battle in Hattin. There, the army numbered 20,000 infantry and 1,000 mounted knights, came face to face with Janissaries, the Muslims' counterparts. Assembling this army stretched to the limits of resources of towns along the border, leaving the others unprotected and vulnerable. The battle ended with the virtual annihilation of the Crusaders. Most lost their lives and every survivor was captured. Among the prisoners of war was King Guy himself and leading the commanders of the Christian army. According to the Templars' own records, Saladin, the great commander of the Muslim forces, was fair. Despite all the cruelty inflicted in Palestine Muslim population of the previous 100 years of Christian rule, the defeated forces were not illiterated. After Saladin's victory at Hattin, he advanced with his army and proceeded to free Jerusalem. Despite serious losses, the Templars survived their defeat in Palestine and along with other Christians withdrew to Europe. Acre, the Crusaders' last stronghold in Palestine, was captured by the Muslim army in 1291. With this, the original justification for the Templars' existence, the protection of the pilgrims in the Holy Land, disappeared as well. Now the Templars could concentrate all their efforts in Europe, but needed a little time to adapt to this new situation. During this transitional period, they relied on the help of their friends in the royal houses in Europe, of whom best known was Richard the Lionhearted. His relationship with the Templars was such that he regarded as an ordinary Knight Templar. Furthermore, Richard has sold to the Templars the island of Cyprus, which was to become the temporary base of the order, while they strengthened their position in Europe to counteract their losses in Palestine.
In the mid-12th century, Muslims started to invade and take possession of the Holy Land. That caused some Templars to leave the order and lead other armies. When the Holy Land was completely lost, support for the order faded. Rumors about the Templars' secret initiation ceremony created distrust, and King Philip IV of France, deeply indebted to the order, took advantage of the situation to gain control over them. In 1307, he had many of the order's members in France arrested, tortured into giving false confession, and burned at the stake. Pope Clement V disbanded the order in 1312 under pressure from King Philip.
Nowadays, the Templars are thought to be as brave as loyal super soldiers defending the Christian faith. They appear in films like Kingdom of the Heaven 2005, and The Knights Templar 2007, and Ironclad 2011. Even their demise is remembered in movies like the 2005 hit Star Wars Revenge of the Sith. In this science fiction movie, the Emperor initiates Order 66, and his clone army turns to the Jedi Knights and exterminates them, just as Pope Clement V and Philip IV did. The Order of the Jedi Knights is based on the values of the Templars: chastity, poverty, and obedience. Templars are also represented in video games like the Assassin's Creed saga that tell how the Templars were not extinguished in 1312, but continue to this day as a secret society bent on conquering the world through banking, large businesses, and political connections. Groups who share the same Christian values of the Templars still exist to this day, from official military organizations like the Spanish Legion to extremist paramilitary groups like the Ku Klux Klan. The KKK even tries to imitate the Templars in the way they dress, with red robes and crosses. Every time somebody tells you that Friday the 13th is unlucky, remember that on that Friday 13th October 1307, for the Templars it certainly was.